Hi there, it's Donna from Heart of the Matter Professional Organizing. We're coming in the front door at my tiny house, and I'm standing in my entryway here, and immediately we are into my kitchen. And you know what? I'm risking today by showing you a shot that's not necessarily the professional organizer's ideal. You know what? It's pretty typical that my kitchen can look this way during meal prep time, and even for a little while afterwards if I don't get right at it. Let's have a look around and see. Okay, well, we're coming in here and we see the front closet door, which is often open, and you know, we've got some boots and shoes and slippers that haven't quite made it. I've got a hanger here, or a hook here. I showed you this one other time. This is actually for my purse. My purse is in its home. Sometimes I hang my coat on top of there too. Oh yeah, there's my scarf laying on the counter that didn't get put away. We're coming across here. Oh, we got some cold meds out. Murray's not feeling well. We've got lunch prep there. A little bit even left over from breakfast. Haley prepared her lunch before she left. Oh yeah, and the cupboard doors are hanging open. That is typical Donna. Oh yeah, bad at leaving my cupboard doors open. We're going across here. I see the tea towel hanging on the dishwasher. That is not its home. We've got a home for that in the corner cupboard with an over-the-door hook. Yep, there's things there that should be headed towards the compost, some things to go back to the fridge. There's dirty dishes. Oh, there's another cupboard door open. Yep, kitchen sink, things sitting around there that are on their way to the dishwasher, things that should be washed by hand. Coming around this way. Yep, oh yep, there's something for the dishwasher too. There's my cookbook laying out. Some things that are on their way out of the house. So as you can see, the professional organizer is pretty typical to a lot of you. Things get left laying out, but Rhonda and I often use the line that we're professional, not perfect. So if you dropped into my house unannounced, and because my entry door is right here in my kitchen, you would see things as they are here today. Perfect example. And but what we do say is we're professional, not perfect. That means that everything at our house has a home. And when we're so inclined to tidy up, we can do it very quickly. We can return everything to its home. And in the video today, I wanted to touch on a few points that are in the blog this week. And one of them is talking about when you tidy up your kitchen, and that you start in a specific spot and you work your way around and you can quickly get everything back where it belongs. And I don't know, I'm kind of a big believer of that. Start in a consistent spot every time, because as you do it over and over and over again, because that's the way it is with the kitchen, you will soon find that you're pretty efficient at it. And rather than zigzagging all over, you can quickly get the job done. I'm just thinking of one other thing I wanted to show you here. Take note, my oven door is open there. We have kind of a neat little feature here. I'm going to back up just so maybe you can see. Right down at floor level, when we moved in, Murray put a receptacle in down there that's on its own circuit. And in our oven, let me show you, we actually store our toaster oven in there. The cord's long enough that it can get plugged in down at the bottom. We use our toaster oven a lot. For the most part, Murray and I living here. Haley's here with us quite a bit of the time right now until she gets married in the spring. So really just three of us, and we find that the toaster oven is something we use a lot. Of course, when we want to use the traditional oven, we can just lift the toaster oven out, set it up onto the counter, or we sometimes just set it over here on the floor. Oh yeah, there's a bag sitting there that I hadn't put away. Oh, and some more boots. Some stuff on its way to people. Yep, I'm just pretty typical too. But anyway, oh, there's something too I should mention. That's a basket that has my some of my pantry items in it. I have a spot for a pantry down in my basement, but if I've done grocery shopping and I know that there are certain ingredients that I'm going to use in the next couple of days, non-perishable items for cooking, then I just tuck them into there, into that basket. What was I talking about over here? Oh yeah, the toaster oven. So then we can just pull that out if we're wanting to use the full oven. And then I store my extra oven rack down here under my sink. Or I put a hook up there at the side. See, got my extra one down in there so that it's easy to access when we need it. So I'm going to pause here just for a moment. I am going to tidy up my kitchen, and then we'll give a shot of it all tidied up. I'm sure that probably felt like just a split second to you, but about 8 to 10 minutes has passed, and I've whipped around the kitchen, put things in their homes, wiped off the counters, swept the floor, and I want to show you three things that we talked about in our blog today. So first of all, I'm going to go over to the drawer that I use here for my plastic and glassware storage. One of the things that I talked about is that area can get in really chaos for a lot of people. And the strategy for me is to simplify and only store in this area what you use regularly. This is prime real estate. So you do not want to be rooting by things that you only use occasionally to get at what you use every day. So what I have in here, and there's a bunch of it in the dishwasher right now, but it usually fits in fairly well. This is the dishes for leftovers and for lunches. You'll see we got a few different sizes of things. I've got one bin up in the corner to kind of corral the small plastics. And then the glass, it just sits around it along with the lids. But what I don't store in here are the things that I use if I'm making a large batch of something. If I'm cooking extra food, putting extra portions into dishes for the freezer, then as those dishes get empty, I don't store them here in prime real estate. What I do is I wash them up and I put them down into the basement, and I've got a spot there called my kitchen overflow, and we'll visit that another time for a video to chat about that. But things like the containers that I use for my Christmas baking, and those extra portioned containers, all that stuff gets stored downstairs, not here in prime real estate. Okay, then we're going to move over here. I've got one of my bins just sitting on the counter here for display purposes because I want to show you, normally that would be downstairs in my kitchen overflow, but for the shoot I put it up here today. So talking about kitchen utensils. So drawer number 3 here for me is my kitchen utensils. So this is the stuff that I use on a regular basis. We all know what we like and what we use regularly. So that's what's in there. Anything that I use occasionally, I've got it stored here. It's marked kitchen gadgets, and it sits on a shelf downstairs in my kitchen overflow. I've got 3 drawers that I use here for that type of thing. Got my cutlery here in the top drawer, a couple little bins in the front. I've got a spot that's designated for my peeling knives. I've got a spot that's for the can opener and peeler in the middle there. And then at the front are my spatulas. Got my scissors in the side, my flicker for lighting my candle, because I do enjoy having candles. I've got one there on my counter that I use on a regular basis. So all of that stuff has a home, and it's close to home. The other thing that we talked about in our in our blog this week was about cookbooks. Now, when I lived in our last house, I had a space up above my fridge at that house that I used most of that. I forfeited most of that valuable space for cookbooks. So I decided when I moved, I was going to get ruthless, and I did a lot of weeding out of cookbooks. So if there was a cookbook that I enjoyed, the 1 or 2 recipes in it, I just ripped out that page, kept that, and got rid of the rest. I donated them or I recycled them. And what I've downed myself to now in my new little house is just this one tiny drawer in my cupboard here. So the things that I ripped out, I put into do-a-tangs. You know, just there's a prime example. That was one that I ripped out of one of the Looney Spoons cookbooks because that was the only recipe that I was using. Other ones, nothing fancy, just stuck them into page protectors and put them in there. Then I've got a few cookbooks in here that I did keep, so you can see that, and a few more do-a-tangs in the bottom because I divided them up by category. But more and more what I'm doing now is as I use these recipes, I get my laptop here on the counter in the kitchen, I quick type those recipes, nothing fancy, into a document, and I save them. Other people might photograph them and save them. I like them as a document so that I can put notes in them. That's just my own personal preference, but there's lots of good ways that you can do it. Pinterest boards are a great way for your recipes as well. So lots of quick tips there as we take a little tour around Donna's kitchen today. And remember, everything needs a home. Don't put it down, put it away.